It's time for Dirty Story Night. This is our season finale. We're going back on hiatus after this episode, and this was not part of any competition. It's just a special Halloween episode recorded for you. Please check out more of our programming at IABD Presents. That's It's All Been Done Presents. Found at IABDpresents.com, and support us at patreon.com/IABD. We do have some bonus Dirty Story stuff we might toss up just for Patreon subscribers, so check that out. Now enjoy our season finale of Dirty Story Night, and hopefully we'll be back sometime in 2021. Linus Van Pelt waited expectantly in the pumpkin patch. Every year, he hoped the great pumpkin would arrive, and every year it failed him. While he was clutching his blanket, he struggled to keep his thumb out of his mouth, determined to stay awake this year and not miss it. After all, he was 18 years old now, so surely he could make it past midnight. Linus's eyes began to flutter, threatening to drift close. But a soft rustle made him snap up. Alert! Was someone there, or something? The great pumpkin, perhaps? A man with curly hair and a pumpkin suit appeared with two shadowy shapes on either side of him. The man opened his mouth to speak. Hi, I'm David Pumpkins, and I'm gonna fuck the hell out of you. Any questions? Linus had many, but none made it out of his mouth. The moon came out from behind the clouds, and Linus saw two creepy skeletons standing on either side of the strange man. He was chilled to the bone, and yet his dick betrayed him, standing at attention. David Pumpkins noticed and came closer. Take off your pants for David S. Pumpkins, man, he said commandingly. Linus found himself obeying, unfastening his shorts and letting them drop to his ankles along with his tighty whities. David looked down and nodded appreciatively at Linus's balls glimmering in the moonlight. Distracted by David Pumpkins, Linus didn't notice the skeletons had moved behind him until they started dancing. Their bones jiggled as they moved, grabbing him and spinning him sideways. Then the skinnier one grabbed Linus by the hair and forced his mouth down towards his bony cock, as in the place most men had penises, the skeleton had just a strange penis-shaped bone. Linus had no choice but to open up and suck the marrow stick, a strange taste to say the least. Moments later, a slightly fatter bone poked at Linus's exposed pumpkin hole and pushed its way past his sphincter. It was not comfortable being Eiffel Towered by two literal bones, but Linus had no leverage in his bent-over stance. The two rocked him back and forth, doing their dance in his holes. Inches away, David S. Pumpkins laughed and took out his own prick. Orange as an orange, with the tip painted like a jack-o'-lantern. He stroked it way too fast as he watched his henchman go at Linus, making inhuman noises as he jerked. The scene played out for maybe a minute or two, as there was no liquid in the skeleton's entire body so they could pump into Linus. So they soon evacuated his sore orifices and tossed Linus, where he sank to his knees, smarting from the unlubed fucking. He looked up just as David Pumpkins ejaculated on his face, the cum landing in ropes like the insides of a pumpkin, and a few chunks even looked like seeds as they dripped down to the dirt. Linus tasted gourd intestines, confused to how such material could come out of the prick of David S. Pumpkins. Linus Van Pelt, you sick pervert! Shouted a harsh voice. Linus opened his eyes and looked up to see his older sister Lucy and several of their friends, including that blockhead Charlie Brown. He looked down and realized he had fallen asleep, and somehow, while still unconscious, opened his pants and began fucking a jack-o'-lantern in its eye socket. It had made quite a mess, and Linus had pumpkin all over him, including his face. He started, unsure what to say. At least I'm not the biggest loser here tonight, crowed Charlie Brown triumphantly. No, you still are. My brother is second, said Lucy. Aw, said Charlie Brown. Suddenly an idea came to Linus. The Bible says, go forth and spread your seed, for I shall... No more Bible verses, shouted Lucy, kicking him through the pumpkin and in the nuts. Embarrassingly, this finished the job Linus had started on the pumpkin, and he came all over the place. Charlie Brown, lick Linus's cum off my saddle shoes, demanded Lucy. The balding teen dropped to his knees and did so obediently. Her friends laughed, and then they turned around and left Linus where he lay, Charlie Brown crawling after him. It's All Been Done presents.
Who's Got the Time?